What's going on? Just a brief disclaimer for this video. The topic is a little crazy at some points, so specifically the first story and the third story. If it's your first time being here, thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe, really helps me out a lot. And that's pretty much it. Enjoy the video. Also, as far as the gameplay goes, I just run around, defeat bosses, fight towers, and just, run around and just mess things up. If you have any questions about the mod, just comment below. I'll answer it, let you know. And again, last warning, some of these things are very triggering to people who have been victims of these things, so that's the last warning. Alright, that's it. The first post. Society shouldn't shame dads for raping their daughters. The only sane being in this world. Imagine yourself in your late 40s, where you have a fat, deformed, smelly granny for a wife who occasionally cheats on you with her boss or some redacted Chad from Hinge, while your prime teen daughter wears tight butt shorts and a midriff top to display her smooth, clear skin, her cute, plump arse, and her round, jiggly bitties. But she's only doing this for the Chads in her grades since her father isn't involved in her life. Any sane man would go insane in this predicament. Would you want your baby Floyd to have her first time and her body abused by some low IQ meathead and end up becoming mentally deranged feminist? I'd be furious if that happened. You're the one that brought her into this world, so it's your sole responsibility to take her, and show her what true love really is, so that she can properly develop into a functioning member of society who shows care and respect to anyone. It's a lot to unpack here. My first reaction when seeing these is, would these people get in front of an audience of people with a microphone and say this, or get in front of anybody legitimate that they don't know and say this and really argue this point with anybody, or are they just getting on the internet and just rage baiting for attention? Because this is absolutely insane. So first of all, let's just break it apart piece by piece. So you're fat, deformed, smelly granny for a wife who occasionally cheats on you. I feel like if you get married to someone, the overwhelming majority of people would love that person until the end of time. Obviously people break up, obviously people cheat, we live in a world. But you got that far and you still are married to this person and you just are unattracted to this person. She's a fat, smelly granny and you're in your late 40s. Which, how is she a granny if you don't have a grandchild? You both are married, so you would share that grandchild. So what are you, a fat, smelly grandpa? Moving on, the way he describes his daughter. Very unhinged, very creepy. Check this man's hard drive. If he's ever in court, he's guilty. Whatever he did it. He's guilty. She's only doing this for Chads in her grades since her father isn't involved in her life. So you are an absent father, you don't like your wife, and your wife is cheating on you with her boss and redacted Chads from Hinge. You don't want your baby girl's body to be abused by low IQ meatheads, so you're gonna take it upon yourself. The biggest thing of all that got me, you brought her into this world. I don't know if you know how science works, how biology works. You helped, you planted the seed, but you didn't bring her into this world, Like, yes, you were involved, you're for 50% of that makeup, of that DNA, but you just, you just dropped the seed on the ground. You didn't grow the baby. You didn't give birth to the baby. And you said you're an absent father, so you didn't even take care of the baby. But it's your responsibility to take her, to pop that cherry. Gotcha. And all this so she can develop into a functioning member of society. I want you to think, on February 7th, 2024, somebody sat at their computer and typed this up and said, yeah, that's the one. Again, I pray that this person is trolling, rage bait. It's funny that there's a picture of Diddy at the top of the post. But man, starting this one off crazy. So the next post, Deborah Ann Hull, I'm assuming I'm saying that right, portraying Faye in the latest God of War game, apparently hideous. Someone typed out, she looks hideous, even compared to modern Sony standards. Are we supposed to believe that Kratos, the man who once bedded the goddess of love herself, would have schmecks with that thing? Even if she wore a paper bag over her head, it's still implausible to me. This is another one of those posts where I'm like, please, I would like to see what you look like. You're in a grandstand and say this person's attractive. This person, there's definitely uglier people in the world. It's not even close. This woman is not unattractive by any means. Would I go for her? Not necessarily, but again, not an unattractive woman. But again, what do you look like? I want to see what you look like. I want to see what your room looks like. I want to see what you smell like. Because a take like this makes no sense. Why are you worried about where Kratos is laying his pipe? Why are you so concerned with who Kratos had kids with? Of all the things going on in life, all the things going on in the world, you're worried about where the god of war, Kratos himself, is laying that gray pipe. And you're mad because it's not a 10 out of 10 baddie by your standards. There's bigger fish to fry in the world, man. I'm sorry. Your life just seems really easy. If this is the top of your, angry bucket list to type this out, it's a video game character where you're going to be running around killing people. I don't think, the top of the bucket list needs to be that she's a 10 out of 10 baddie. There's games like that. Play Stellar Blade. I don't know what to tell you, bro. There are games like that, just play those games. You could just choose that game over hating another, Just because you like one thing over another doesn't mean you need to hate the one that you don't prefer. Just move on with your life and just enjoy what you like. Sitting here calling this woman unattractive because she doesn't fit your beauty standards doesn't make sense, but who am I? The next one. I want to lock up a Foyd in my dungeon and only feed her my rum. Having my own personal flesh slave, which could only feast on my rum, is my new fantasy. This rum dumpster would be repulsed by me constantly her and feeding her my rum, but that would only turn me on even more. Eventually, when she is starving, she would beg for my seed to go into her mouth because there is no other choice. I want to break her mind until she wants to end it all, but I won't let her. I'll torture her, and when she reaches a certain age, I would unalive her, chop her up, and dispose of her body in some river, and repeat the cycle. And then he puts in parentheses as if this makes any of this sane or anything better. This is only a fantasy. I'm not actually going to do it. What happened in your life to where you feel this is a normal thought, a normal fantasy? Normally people are like, hey, I want to be tied up. Hey, I want you to dress like a nurse. Hey, I want you to do something a little bit strange. Hey, put your toes in my mouth. This guy's fantasy is to torture somebody. But don't worry, he's not actually going to do it. Just fantasizes about it. With this, I feel like this is like reason to put somebody like in a mental hospital. Not even mental, just something to keep them out of society and kind of reform their brain. He needs to go to rehab. He's broken. This is a broken person that typed this out and believes it. Later on, I'm not going to read all of this, but later on in one of the screenshots, he says, it's not a fantasy, I'm actually going to do it. So even these parentheses at the end of this one mean nothing. I was going to read some of these, but I can't stomach it. So I'm just going to scroll through the screenshots. Obviously some words are going to be blurred out. You could put 2 and 2 together, but this is a whole forum. These people are real. And I don't think they're joking. There's a difference between edgy jokes and you're going to commit a crime. You want to commit a crime. You're just waiting for your opportunity to do it. Like I see this guy probably like getting groceries and seeing an unattended child and like enacting this fantasy. Like this is sick. There's no excuse for it either. Like you not being able to get women or score women should be no reason for you to have these type of thoughts and fantasies. You not having success being in relationships, going on dates, none of this should excuse any type of thinking like this or any behaviors like this. And if you genuinely think so, you need help, bro. You really need help. Or just a quick one. I would feed her good. I would blank her till she's pregnant and gives birth. Then I will let her go with the kid in her hand. That's the most brutal you can do to them. She would have to raise the son of an incel, her, or kill the kid and go to prison, LOL. Like they think this is genuinely funny. Again, how bad does your life have to be? Or like meaningless can your life be to get to this point to just type things up and think it's funny? Cause I'm not the comedian police. Like people always get on the internet and joke, say, hey, this comedian's not funny. This comedian says a lot of things that are blah, 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 insert buzzword. That's none of my business. I don't care about anything. Again, I'm not trying to police what people think is funny, but some things on this level, they just can't be funny. There's no sane individual on this planet who would get up and laugh with you on these topics or these things. Again, the key word, sane person. Jeez, bro. The next post. Why should we respect Foyds? All throughout our lives, we've been taught that we need to treat Foyds with respect and be gentlemen, but why should we do that when they treat us like shite? The problem with Foids is that they are entitled and they think we're supposed to give them some type of special treatment for having Virginias. Then on top of that, these beaches still want to claim that they are oppressed and that men are so bad even though all the societal privileges in life go in their favor. Foids don't know how easy they have it, I swear. I'm honestly getting sick of them at this point, seriously. Like, why do we still have to deal with them? I mean, you just stay at home. You don't have to deal with women at all, really, unless you work with them and or, go to school with them. But you don't really have to deal with women if you don't want to, since you hate them so much and you wish they disappeared. But my question to you, though, is if they did that, what would you do? What would you hate then? Because at this point, I just feel like these people are just miserable. They're just looking for something to hate. And, I guess for whatever reason, they disagree with women just because women don't want to be with them. So they just, by their logic, hate women. Instead of just hating the girl that broke your heart or hurt your feelings, you hate all women. Like, I never understood that. Like, people who watch, for example, like Fresh and Fit or anything, not a fan of those guys. Not gonna sit there and get up here and slander them. If you're a fan, F it. It is what it is. You live your life, bro. But it's like the people who are sitting at home watching those live streams and then just typing on their keyboards and or donating to roast the women on the panel. Like, bro, you don't know this girl. You'll never meet this girl, but you so passionately hate her just because you have differing opinions on things. Or you think she's lesser than because she lives a fast life. And then you attribute that same woman on that panel to all women because that makes sense. Again, instead of the person that broke your heart or hurt your feelings being the center of that hate, it's directed towards all women because that logically makes sense in your brain. Women don't want you and it's women's fault that they don't want you, not your own. Nothing to do with you, you're perfect. Even if you don't think you're perfect, you think you're less than. It just ranges so much with these guys. Like, there's some that blame women for everything, and then there's some that just have so much low self-esteem they don't even try. There's like no middle ground. It's the extremist hate and the extremist self-loathing. Like, there's no middle ground. There's no happy medium for these guys. And my question is, if they were to get into a relationship, how fast would they self-sabotage it with what they're thinking and the ideas that they have on women? Because what if you finally do get a woman that likes you? Do you still feel your way about all women? You just got the one exception that's a perfect individual. It's like, dude, none of this thinking is based on logic or reasonable. It's all just emotional nonsense. But on the other hand, you want to sit there and say women are always thinking emotionally. Women always wear their emotions on their sleeves. But that's exactly what incels do. They attribute their bad experiences with women, with life being bad, with all girls being horrible, all girls are the same. Jump into conclusions just like they say women do. You literally are two sides of the same coin. You literally are exactly what you hate. Just the man version of it. You'll get up here looking like Rumpelstiltskin, but then sit here and say, hey, that woman's a 4, that woman's a 5, that woman, like, dude, you stink, you're short, you're ugly, but you have the audacity to sit here and rate all these people who aren't even bothering you. Help is needed. The Michael Jordan meme.
I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
The next post about someone complaining about something that's not the end of the world. The amount of work required to look good. Women, nothing. Just don't eat like a freaking hippo every single day. Men, years of hard work at the gym many times a week and a strict diet with enough proteins and little fats and sugars. Like, dude, this is a nothing burger issue. The same could be true. It also boils down to genetics. Whoa, shocker. Some people are, they hit the genetic lottery. It is what it is, bro. You just got the bad deck of cards. It's okay. But like you said, you could work hard. Would you rather just have everything or work hard for it? I don't know what to tell you. And then it's crazy too, because what a lot of incels do is they think that this picture of this man is like the peak. When if you go, like, you've seen videos, I'm pretty sure you've seen videos online too. A bunch of men going up to women and be like, hey, what do you prefer? What type of body style? The overwhelming majority of women don't like a muscular dude. The overwhelming majority of women would choose a dad bod. And I'm not necessarily saying you need to have a beer gut or anything like that, but just a lot of women don't like that much muscle. They genuinely don't. But you know what incels are going to do? They're going to hear a woman say what they want, and they're going to do the opposite because Foids don't know what they want, because that makes sense. That makes sense in their brain. A woman will say, hey, A woman will look you in your eyes and say, hey, I don't like a man with a lot of muscles. And you will proceed to be like, nah, I gotta look good for the men. Another example, a lot of women, the majority of women, would get up on the internet and say, hey, they don't like big meats. But an incel will get on the internet and be like, I need to have a 12-incher. I need to start jelking. I need to get a pump. I need to do this. I need to tie a brick to my sack. A lot of women say they don't want that big meat, bro. They said that a lot of women are saying, hey, it's overrated. It hurts. A good 6 inches is good, bro. That's all you need. Which, granted, some of you don't have that, which, you know, unlucky. But again, men will get up on the internet, obsessed about having muscles, obsessed about having a giant meat, just for women to say, hey, I don't want muscles. Hey, I don't want a giant 12-inch meat. I just want average. But average isn't good enough for incels. Even though the overwhelming majority are just simply average. You think less of yourself because you don't look like Kratos, apparently, according to the last post. But again, I'm just a guy. Again, it's more so about incels wanting something for themselves that women don't even want, and it doesn't make sense. But then you will sit there and complain that you're not getting women when you are literally doing the opposite of what they're attracted to and are mad at the results. At this point, you are pleasing men. You want to get fit for other men. You want a big meat to impress other men. It's not for women. Food for thought. The next post from Liam Lloyd. Mud shark spotted. Didn't like her photo taken. Childbearing age woman betraying their people. Traitor. Then just shows a white woman eating food with a black man. I didn't say anything to them. Silently took my photo and kept walking. Ice cold. Whew, he hit us hard with that one. This is a very weird thing to do, Liam. Women are destroying the entire planet for gangbangs. These women need to be shunned and avoided. Expose them all. Take all their pictures. They are filth. Taking photos of random people while they're eating lunch is an objectively weird thing to do, Liam. Stunts like this make us all on the right look insane and creepy. Pull your head in, you effing redacted. If you are close with a black man and I see it, I will take your photo and post it. F you. Pull your head in, redacted. I agree with you, but we should apply the same standard to men who decide to procreate with nuns. These men should be forced to assimilate to black-brown culture and should be shunned from their group too. Absolutely. They are all the white man's public places. The women didn't build it. The non-whites didn't build any of it. The white men will do what we please. Hate to break this to you, Liam, but I don't know if you've ever driven by a construction zone, you know, residential or commercial. The overwhelming majority of the workers are not white. Shocker. I work in that field. I'm gonna tell you, the overwhelming majority of workers on those fields are not white. Would I say nine times out of 10 are the ones, you know, the higher ups in management white? Yeah, but as far as the people who built it, like you said, built it, not designed it, not was over the project, built it, are not white. Food for thought. Someone replied, whoa mate, best not to photograph randoms and post them on social media. That's not good. You know, pretty tame thought. Then Liam's profile pic is unhinged. That's not a random photo. That is a female warming her hands at the invader's hearth. She needs to be held accountable by whatever white man she decided to fall back on. White men deserve loyal, loving white women. Jesus, bro. All this just to end up in the cuck chair. Then other people chime in. You just have to look at them and they know. They're always filled with shame when you give them that look, and they know exactly what that look is because they receive it so often. We're supposed to pretend they are honorable, and he is a gentleman, she is a whore, and he is a bioweapon, united against white men. And so on and so forth. I'm gonna stop reading now. I'll scroll through the rest of the screenshots. You can pause to read them. Liam Lloyd is an unhinged man. I wonder what the bow tie and the strawberry are in his name. His profile picture's scary. These are the type of people that live on the internet. Again, instead of living their lives, you know, just focus on things they can control. They want to sit there and police people's relationships. They want to police whether a black man and a white, a black man and a white woman could be together. They want to police literally everything. Again, that just tells me your life isn't hard enough. It just tells me you're very bored, you're very miserable, that you're choosing this to be mad about. when there's like real things to be mad about. Corruption with money, billionaires getting richer, the middle class disappearing. There's a lot of things you could be mad about. But this random white woman eating lunch with her assuming black man, he's a bioweapon and she enjoys gangbangs just because they're eating a meal together. A lot of assumptions being made, a lot of conclusions being jumped to. Liam is unhinged. I hope he gets help. Yeah, the next post. Feminists are panicking, realizing men still love women and not girl bosses. Crazy. And it shows a picture of Sydney Sweeney. I don't know who this is, I just know everyone's obsessed with her. Sydney Sweeney is a partner in 2 production companies, owns 1 clothing brand, and has strategic partners with 2 others, and owns majority equity stake in a number of beauty companies. She studied business at UCLA. She is unmarried, unpartnered, and childless. She is the definition of a girl boss, and she's not going to see this and fall madly in love with you. Again, people just, incels see what they want to see and just make up whatever reality / La La Land in their own head. It just simply could have been, wow, this girl's beautiful. But no, you made up a fantasy in her head, as if this woman isn't famous. So how is she not a girl boss? She is literally famous. I'm pretty sure she's from Euphoria, I think, and other projects. She's in TV shows and movies. She's famous, but she's not a girl boss. She makes a lot of money, but she's not a girl boss. Logic isn't logicking. You made up your fantasy about this woman being a traditional housewife, even though she's in TV shows and movies, but she's not a girl boss. Gotcha. The last post for today, and this one is the cherry on top that puts everything into perspective. So I met up with this girl I used to work with to go to the movie. I haven't seen her in years, but we talked a lot on Facebook and she was kind of cute. I thought this was my chance. When I showed up, she had done herself up to maybe a 7. Tight pants, a low-cut shirt, and her face done up. But then it all fell apart. She pushed my hand away when I tried to touch her hand or leg in the movies and kind of leaned away from me the whole time. After the movie, I wanted to go to dinner, but she said she had some stuff to do. When I asked her later what happened, she said, I didn't put any effort in, and was really turned off because she said my clothes were dirty and I smelled. She won't go out with me a second time. It isn't my fault that she painted her face and dressed like a whore to go to a movie, but this is the closest I've ever got to a real female. Let's sit for a second. So everything is her fault. She said, you didn't put any effort in, your clothes are dirty, and you stink. It's not my fault she painted her face and dressed like a to go to a movie. Was your response to you smelling like ass and your clothes being dirty. It's like someone's been like, dang, you burned down your house. It's not my fault your shoes are red. Like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. No accountability. She's done herself up to a 7. I tried to touch her and she leaned away from me. Gave you the reasons why, and you still are not understanding what the issue is. You stink and your clothes are dirty. That's why she doesn't like you. But it's not because I didn't shower. Like, oh God. That's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. I want to hear your thoughts on some of these stories, some of these unhinged people. What are you thinking? And that's pretty much it. Hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for being here. Again, like and subscribe. That's it. Bye.